Andy. I'm the CTO. Get started. What that means is that I'm one of the directors and I'm the nerd. So I'm the one who talks about the technology, and there's lots and lots of new features. So come and talk to any of us afterwards if you want us to go a little bit deeper into any of this. The big one that Wayne spoke about was the interface redesign. They went right back, stripped it right back, and created the whole interface. So the CMS desk that you guys probably log into, or the administration console it's now called. We've been using Kentico for about 6 years, and the interface hadn't changed that much in that whole time. It was a pretty good interface at the start, and they changed some icons, they changed some colours. Now they've changed it completely. They put together a whole dedicated user experience team. They did workshops, they engaged with us quite a bit on it as well, all of their partners, and they made sure that they were doing it right. If they're going to redo it, they're going to do it right. So, yeah, they've stripped it right back. They've got rid of all the distracting things. They've just added shortcuts. You can customize dashboards. There's help everywhere. You can't get lost. I'll take you through a few of the features now. For starters, this is what it now looks like. And you won't recognise this really at all. You now get a personalised dashboard with the links to the things you use and an application list on the left where you can jump straight to whatever you usually use. What you used to see when you came in was essentially your homepage and you had the chance to edit it. But what if that's not what you do every day? What if you get in there and you manage email campaigns? What if you manage a product catalogue? Contextual help is the other thing I wanted to talk about. Kentico has really exhaustive documentation. It's huge, but it's somewhere else. Now, any page you're on in the whole system, you just click the little question mark in the top corner, and your help will drop down, and there'll be contextual help. What that means is if you're on a page editing a form, the help will be how to add a field to this form, how to download the data out of this form. The next major change I would say is there's probably quite a few of you here have forms on your site. Probably every website here has forms, whether that's a contact form or whether it's something more complex like a complaint form. You could always go in and customise your own forms, but if anyone here has ever actually gone in and edited a form or a biz form, it was called in earlier versions, it was very complex. It looked like it was built for programmers, and often it was the programmers doing the customisation of the forms. The new way to do forms is incredibly easy. You basically click new form, you type in a name for it, and then you just start dragging and dropping. I want a text box here, I want some check boxes here, and you can see here how easy it is. Now, obviously, your forms probably don't look exactly like these ones here. That doesn't matter. What you're doing here is you're configuring the form. You can talk to us about creating some standard styles for your forms so that you can create your own forms, throw them on your site, and they'll work immediately. The EMS, Wayne mentioned the enterprise marketing solution, the online marketing features. Adam's going to go into a lot more detail about this later, but I need to mention a few of the more exciting features. User personas, which Wayne mentioned, it was another section where it was a little bit complex to do segmentation of your users. You needed to create rules and group people in, and then you could take action on those groups. You could put people in, you could send them emails, you could customise your homepage. Kentico simplified that right down to personas, which is a common way to do things in online marketing. And here we've got the example of Ted. Ted's I believe he's aged 18 to 30 and interested in technical blogs in this example here. But the idea is you would create a persona for someone like Ted. You might create another persona for someone called Fred, who is price conscious. And then the idea would be that on your homepage you could say, let's show this content. However, if we know this user has visited this site before and their actions lead us to believe they're more of a Ted kind of person, then show them a link to the latest technical article on our blog. There's other features you can, the EMS tracking of users can work more like Google Analytics now. It can use a JavaScript snippet on the front end. Sorry if I'm getting a bit technical. But what that really means is that it will line up more with your Google Analytics data. So you can work hand in hand. And it also means that it's going to stop tracking visits from robots and trackers and Google and Russian search engines. E-commerce improvements. Now, I realise not everyone in the room has an e-commerce site. Some people are going e-commerce soon. Some people might be thinking about it, but it was a huge area of focus for Kentico 8 and one that I know I personally drove Kentico pretty hard on, so sorry about that, mate. Some of the biggest new features, we've got customisable discount engine. You can basically put sales, specials, offers on anything based on any rule. It's incredibly powerful. It went from something that was relatively limited to something that is now one of the most powerful ones I've seen. The customisable checkout, which Wayne mentioned, we were previously limited to a fairly standard checkout experience. We can now do anything we want with it, which is great for people with responsive websites, or if you want a mobile one-page checkout, things like that. Here we have an example of probably, for me, the most exciting one, product variations. So you can come in, you can say, define a single product and say this t-shirt varies by colour and by size, and Kentico will immediately create all of those different combinations, and then you can customise the price or track the stock or put a certain combination on special. So you've got too many extra large red t-shirts, put one special. Social media integration, which Wayne mentioned. There were always ways to get your content onto Facebook and Twitter. Kentico has supported it for quite some time. However, they've realised that it's different people editing the content to managing your pages on Facebook. So there are a number of ways. You can either have things pushing straight on Facebook and Twitter. You could have it as part of a new advanced workflow. So maybe someone else has to approve something before it gets pushed to Twitter. There's also enhancements to the Facebook login components. If you have people authenticating with Facebook, you can now have it so when they connect to Facebook, it will actually draw more information out of their Facebook profile, and you can then use that in your segmentation and your user personas and target them with your email campaigns based on some of their Facebook information, like where they live. The personalised dashboards, so coming back to the radically different homepage. So this is the homepage you see when you come in as an administrator. There's links everywhere. It's easy to customise these. So most of you wouldn't see this. Most of you aren't interested in document types and the email queue and the event log. We can very easily come in and say, these users are more interested in, for example, I think in this example, what we're going to do is add a link to editing email templates and get rid of another link. I'm not sure which one it was, but just to show how quickly this can happen. And we're done. So, for example, your marketing people might log in and what they'll see is email newsletters, Facebook, Twitter, analytics, and personas or something. And your developer logs in and sees all the developments. Smart search improvements. This is one that I think probably affects almost everyone in the room. This is probably going to be one of the triggers, I think, for a lot of people to want to upgrade. We've got a huge, if there are any technical people in the room, they're now taking full advantage of the Lucene engine. They're going a lot deeper into that. It means you get some more Google-like features, like you've got fuzzy search, which basically means typo tolerant. If you spell something wrong, it still comes up. Synonym matching, you search for assistance and help and aid and things come up as well, like Google does. Stemming, so if you type in conditional, it will return results for conditions. And you can also more easily search all the attachments in your documents. So if you've attached a PDF to a page, you can search the contents of that PDF much more easily. And predictive search, which I had to show a screencast off here, I think. Basically, you can now log in, you can now very easily get like a Google autofill. So you start typing and it will pull down, so you start typing iPod, it will pull down some suggestions of some pages that you might be looking for, which I'm pretty sure everyone will love. Workflow improvements. I think most of the people here probably use workflows as well. They used to be a little bit of a hassle to set up and you're locked into a workflow, and sometimes they'll end up just being annoying or get in the way. Sometimes they're incredibly useful and sometimes you do want them to get in the way. But now one of the bigger features in the workflow is you can now have a workflow that you can optionally apply to any document. So take, for example, that one workflow is that you need this to be proofread or translated or some other step to be done on this document, but not always. You can just save the document and say, I would like to put this into this translation workflow, and bang, the translator gets notified. It doesn't get published yet, but it's now in their court. So, upgrading. Upgrades are always a big deal, and a lot of people are probably sitting there thinking, this is the biggest release ever and it's got more features than anything else, so is upgrading going to be a massive job? So luckily, Kentico have released some additional tools to make the upgrade easier for us, which I'm very grateful for. They've got a tool we can use to analyse your website and point out where the pain points are likely to be, so we can get a better prediction of whether certain custom code we've written for you is likely to survive the upgrade without hiccups, or what we're going to need to do to fix it. So that's great for us, because what we're always focused on is quality assurance. It's making sure that if we do upgrade your site, we don't introduce bugs to it, and also you don't get downtime. So come and speak to us if you want to talk about how difficult it's going to be to upgrade your site. I know most of the people here, I know your sites fairly well because I've been looking at them behind your back. So come and speak to us about how much customization is in your site, how much effort it's likely to be, because we're very keen, if you like any of these features, we're very keen to help you get them. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, thanks, Marty. So as I said, come and speak to us. I'm here to talk for the rest of the show. We've got a whole range of get started people here to talk to. So, thanks, mate. All right.